And welcome to Faith Feature. My guest today is the pastor of Hope Alliance Church in New Hartford, Andy Ward. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I was glad to be here.
So we have not been back to normal in about 2 months now, pushing past 2 months now. We have a very slow opening that it looks like the state is going to initiate over the next several weeks. And people are definitely antsy and wanting to get back into church, even with the masks and with the social distancing and stuff. How's your congregation holding up right now? What's their sense of how things are going on, and what are you guys, hoping to do going forward?
I think I agree with you. I think our congregation is missing each other and want the fellowship. That's the design, part of the design of worship. For us, we were in a pretty good situation. We started doing some online streaming about a month before this hit. So we were able to go right to all online streaming. We do something different. I know a lot of churches pre-record. We do our services still live. It's a little bit different preaching to an empty congregation, but as I always joke around and say, at least over this pandemic, no one's fallen asleep during my messages at Hope. And so we've gotten that, and we do some videos, during the week to update, to encourage. We try to do, like everybody else, YouTube. People can comment during the sermons, which is a nice thing, or talk to each other that way. So I think we're holding up pretty good, but I think probably a couple of weeks ago, like everybody else, we've kind of hit that wall, saying let's move on with this. So I think it's been nice to see that our county executive is allowing phase 2, that he's allowed to say religious organizations can open up. So as the elders and I have been meeting on a weekly basis, we're developing a plan to open up, and hopefully that'll be sometime in June. We'll be announcing that to our congregation soon as we finish the touches of coming into church, keeping people safe, social distancing, singing, and doing all of those type of things.
Out of all the things that have happened over the last 2 months, what's the thing that surprised you the most, and what's the thing that's given you some hope and that has really strengthened your faith in this time?
What surprised me the most is how hard it is to do a video to the church, or even to preach when no one is there. That surprised me, how difficult that really is. I think what encourages me is just when I talk to people from our congregation, how they're upbeat, and then I'm just hearing things like people say, well, this person just called me to see how I was doing, and so they're reaching out to each other and encouraging each other to continue on in the walk with the relationships they have. And so that's just really nice to see.
What are some other things that you've learned from this experience? You've been a pastor for many years. You've led that church, for many years. As you look forward and you see a lot of needs in the community, there's a lot more people that are unemployed, that could potentially be unemployed for an extended period of time because of the changes in the economy. This phased reopening is going to be an experience for all of us. So when you look forward, what do you see, and what encouragement are you looking to give your congregation from Scripture, given the path that we look to have ahead of us?
Yeah. I think for going forward, I think it's a chance for the church to kind of re-image itself. I don't like the word brand, but I think that the other night my wife Patty and I were talking about this. Like 20% of the people are not going to like the church no matter what they do. 20% of the people will like the church, doesn't matter what they do. And there's that 60% that I think has kind of grown tired of the church because they're more about themselves, or they're judgmental, or whatever. And I think this gives us an opportunity to re-image, to say, now how do we go outward and focus on connecting with the community and being, as our district superintendent, Dave Lynn, says, to be a good neighbor to the community, to help them in their struggles. And then, giving a cup of cold water, putting hands and feet to that, where I think there's opportunities now for the church to be invited to this, and then to take the opportunity to serve the community in some way. So going forward, I think those are some of the things that we're going to look at doing.
Awesome, and we certainly hope that change is positive for all of us. And I know one thing is for certain: when we all get back in fellowship, even if we are socially distanced, we are going to be so thankful for it. And we certainly hope and pray that this spurs the church to reaching out and to further action. Pastor Andy Ward from Hope Alliance Church in New Hartford, thank you so much for joining us on Faith Feature today.
Thanks, Rich. Have a good day.